What is up, everyone? Welcome into the Golden Edge Mailbag. I'm Review Journal Golden Knights reporter Ben Gotz. He's Review Journal Golden Knights reporter Adam Hill. We are here every week answering your burning questions about the Vegas Golden Knights, who can clinch a playoff spot tonight for the second straight year, depending on how things go against the Colorado Avalanche. If you want to get involved in the discussion, if you want to send us questions, you can find us on Twitter at Ben S. Gotz, G-O-T-Z. He is at Adam Hill, L-V-R-J. And then you can also email me at bgotz@reviewjournal.com. But Adam, before we get to the Knights, how's it going?
It is good. I'm good. And, you said the Golden Knights could clinch tonight. They will clinch eventually. They just could do it tonight. So, I mean, they will be in the playoffs for a second straight year. I think we're not going on too much of a limb to say that.
I don't think so either. And I think we're not going on too much of a limb to say it's probably the San Jose Sharks that they're going to play in the first round. Most likely.
Still a chance that the Golden Knights catch them for home ice in that round, but most likely it'll be Vegas against San Jose, and we would think starting off in San Jose for Game 1.
Yeah, and I'm very okay with a trip to sunny California this time of year.
Yes, better than Calgary, I would think.
Absolutely. Well, let's get to some comments and questions that we've received this week, starting with one that says, from at Aces of Games UK, his recent performances make me trust Malcolm Subban more, but it's just nice to have Marc-Andre Fleury between the pipes, you know? And I do agree for the playoffs, it's probably nicer to have Marc-Andre Fleury in there, Adam, but I think Malcolm Subban's playing pretty well in this recent stretch.
I think he's playing well, and I think it's coming at a good time for the Golden Knights. Certainly it gives Marc-Andre Fleury some rest, whether it's the mysterious lower body injury or baby watch, which just wrapped up. It was good for the team, I believe, to let Marc-Andre Fleury step away, kind of take care of some business, get some much-needed rest and relaxation and recovery time, and at the same time get Malcolm Subban some confidence. And we've seen certainly the team building their confidence in Malcolm Subban and Malcolm Subban building confidence in himself. Now, he would say, and I know I talked to him about this, he always had confidence. He knew that he could play at a high enough level to win games. But early in the season, I know he was put in some bad spots, a lot of second halves of back-to-backs, playing on the road when the team didn't have a whole lot of legs, and it cost them at times. But Malcolm Subban has played well. He continues to play well, and I think if it's necessary to use him in the playoffs, I don't think it's panic time.
Yeah. Pop quiz, you mentioned Fleury Baby Watch. What's the name of Marc-Andre Fleury's new son?
Well, I call him Jack, but it's James.
James yes. Fleury. Adam flubbed that one a little bit yesterday on our podcast, which you can also find at reviewjournal.com, iTunes, wherever you get your podcasts. But I agree.
But the name should be Jack?
His name's James. I agree that Malcolm Subban's played well this year. I actually looked this up. In this recent stretch, he has a goals against average of 2.41, which is actually better than Marc-Andre Fleury's season average of 2.46.
Yeah, people are not going to like you saying that. Even if it's facts, people don't
I'll say
like
it's just numbers. Now, Malcolm Subban's save percentage, not great. It's a .908 in these past 5 games. It's .903 overall this season. So I think you would like to see more consistency from him there. For all the times we see him make some incredible saves, like he did the other night against Winnipeg Jets, where on the power play, he slides across his crease to block a shot by Patrick Laine. Incredible save. Very few goaltenders in the NHL can make that save. And then we see him give one up under his armpit Monday against the St. Louis Blues. So I think you're still searching for that consistency game to game with Malcolm Subban. Maybe it evens out a little bit now that he's getting more playing time, because I think the hardest thing to do if you're an NHL player is to get consistency when you're not getting consistent ice time. So, but overall, I think he's played well.
That's good, consistent use of that word, Ben.
Thank you. I'm trying really hard. Let's move on to our next one. It may not end up in the box score, but William Carrier makes a big impact for the team. That is from at VGK Watch. Adam, I agree on this one. Since William Carrier come back, he's done pretty well.
Well, I don't think it's a question. It's more of a statement, and I'll just say, yes, you're right. I mean, that's how we go with that? Yes, Will Carrier makes a huge difference in the lineup. Mostly, first of all, it allows a little bit more of guys to know their roles, and you don't have to kind of shift around guys. They know that William Carrier and Ryan Reeves together, along with Pierre-Edouard Bellemare, are going to hold down that fourth line. And when they are out there, they're going to create havoc on the other team. I think it generates. It helps the entire team, because when those guys go out there, they're so aggressive and they're just so chaotic with what they do that it throws the other team's lines off throughout the lineup. When you're looking around like, all right, who's out here right now? Are those guys out here? They start to panic a little bit, and then it allows the skill players that extra split second if the other team is looking for that Reeves and Carrier line, like, who's out here right now? Okay, maybe the skilled lines are going to have that extra split second to make a play. So I think it impacts the whole lineup, and I think it's very, very good for the Golden Knights to have Will Carrier back out there.
Yeah, Will Carrier and Ryan Reeves, two of the highest hit totals in the NHL this season. I would definitely not want to meet either of those guys in the corners when I'm battling for a puck.
Carrier basically missed the last 2 months, and he's still 5th.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Now I think there is some debate about the statisticians at T-Mobile Arena, and that kind of came up in the playoffs last year. But still, pretty impressive. Ryan Reeves way up there at the top, and Will Carrier at 5th. Now he was 1st when he went out, and now he has some catching up to do.
Yeah, definitely no surprise. Those guys are near the top of the leaderboard, though. Let's go to our last one. Reminder: you can also put questions and their comments in the Facebook comments section. We are live on Facebook right now. This is from Ed Bruce. This is via email. How are line changes made? So, Adam, we could address this one.
By the way, why does Turk look so angry already?
I feel like that's his default face on the bench.
Too.
He's not a very smiley guy.
He's calling for a
during
line
games
change.
Often.
Calling for a line change, not happy.
Get these guys off the ice.
That's not good. Yes.
No. So there's two ways. There's one, just the actual mechanics.
Yeah.
The actual mechanics of how this happens during a game. And then, of course, there are the line changes that they make. Oh, there's Gallant feeling all bright and sunny
he's happier
during
now.
a game. How line changes made game to game in terms of how they might juggle lines between games, which is usually just Gerard Gallant has a meeting with his coaching staff in the mornings where they'll usually address stuff like that. They'll have sleep on it, watch tape or whatever, and then he'll come back in the morning and they'll kind of discuss like, hey, do we want to move this guy up and down the lineup if we want to make a change? If they're winning, obviously they usually don't make changes, but I think there's some meetings where they address that before practice.
Injuries and so forth.
Injuries, of course,
different things that can mix it up, and how they want to look at who plays on what line, who's comfortable with who complements who, and all those things. As we said, the first line has pretty much been the same, with the exception of a couple games for the 2 years. The fourth line kind of came together last year, and they've been holding together for the most part when they're all healthy. There, and then the second and the third line have kind of shaken up. And I know going into the year, the second line was going to be, Stastny, Pacioretty, and whoever else was there. Now Mark Stone obviously has held down that second line spot, and the third line's been one they've been trying to figure out. But for the most part, it's as you said, it's just kind of a game to game, what's working, what's not, and let's see what combinations could work. And that's kind of the meetings that they have.
Yeah, then they just roll them out for practice or morning skate. They see what works. They get a little chemistry together, and they go play. I don't think it's as crazy of a process as sometimes we want to make it out to be.
No, but the other one is logistically, though. I
Yes.
guess that's the other way to look at this. So how are the line changes made? And obviously, I've always been fascinated with Ben. You were such a good hockey player growing
That's
up.
not even remotely accurate. I was very bad.
Now, kind of walk us through the process of what the line changes were like. And I like to envision you just trying to stay out as long as you possibly could and being forced off the ice, waiting for a face-off at some point.
Oh, see, I was the opposite, where I would get off the ice as fast as possible because I knew that would please my coaches if I kept shorter shifts.
Yes.
Like, ooh, these guys not selfish, so that's good. So usually, obviously, how you have this work is that if you're an offensive player, you dump the puck in the offensive zone. 2 forwards usually go off at a time, and then a third one forechecks to kind of buy time for those guys to get off the ice. And then if you're on the bench, you know who's coming out next. So, of course, if I was on the bench waiting to start my shift, I would know that, hey, I'm coming out for Paul Stastny. I'm playing center today.
You're not on that level.
Not on that. I'm trying to give
Just
a
say
good
like
Golden Knights
Jimmy
example.
Johnson, who
All right.
was on your team.
Good old Jimmy. James is coming off the ice. I thought he was going to be playing goaltender, James. James is coming off the ice, and if I'm playing center and I know I'm coming off for him, then as soon as James gets near the bench, I hop over the boards and go over there. So obviously centers exchange for centers, left wings change for left wings, right wings change for right wings. So you wait for your guy to get to the bench, and then you hop over those boards. And that's predetermined. Usually the coaches will whisper something like, hey, this line's got next, or like, hey, I'm sending you out next. And those are things that are quickly communicated on the bench to you. Everyone's kind of on the same page.
No, I feel like you could just step over the board. You wouldn't have to hop like a lot of guys do.
No, it was pretty easy for me. Just kind of would swing my leg wildly, try not to slice anyone with my skate, and
Did that ever happen?
Not necessarily.
Good.
Not that I'm legally allowed to say.
I consider that a win.
I do too.
Yeah.
We do have one Facebook question. This is from Rochelle. Speculations on the return of Fleury. Adam, I do believe we are pretty well set that Malcolm Subban will make a 6th straight start tonight against the Colorado Avalanche.
Can we just do this emoji?
Shrug. Moving forward, yeah, I'm not exactly sure when we will see Marc-Andre Fleury back. I don't expect it to be that much longer, and no one seems to have an overt level of concern over his current lower body injury.
I wouldn't be surprised. I mean, I think they want to get him worked back into the lineup before the playoffs. I don't think they want to just throw him back into a playoff game. I wouldn't be surprised if it's this weekend. They have back-to-backs Friday, Saturday. Friday here, Saturday on the road in San Jose, and I know that there is, it's not an immediate concern, but they're running out of time to get him back worked into the lineup. It would make sense to let Subban play one, let Fleury play one, and see how that works out. Get him back up to speed before the playoffs start. But I don't sense a whole lot of real concern around the team about the health of Marc-Andre Fleury. I think it's it's an issue of just getting him rested up. He played a lot this season, and get him ready for the playoffs. All they care about is him getting ramped up, not necessarily getting a whole lot of action in there.
Absolutely, I agree. Well, that's going to do it for this edition of the Golden Edge Mailbag. Remember, if you have questions you want included here, you can tweet to us. I'm at Ben S. Gotz, G-O-T-Z. He is at Adam Hill, LVRJ. You can email me at bgotz@reviewjournal.com, or you can drop some comments on Facebook, and we will get to them next week. For Adam Hill, I'm Ben Gotz. Thanks for checking out The Golden Edge.